Okay. Back again at our A Day in Miami. I always say this.
You always say it.
But everybody probably says the same thing. Coño, Manny, you always say the damn thing. This is a good one. No, but this is a real good one.
This is a long time coming.
We have. Whose fault is that? I don't know. Probably the sheriff. But anyway, no.
Busy schedule, I heard.
Busy schedule. Oye, we're excited because we have Sheriff Rosie Cordero with us here today. Well, let's say the name completely. It's Rosie Cordero. Stutz. Okay. Yeah. So I said it correctly. Sheriff, welcome. Welcome to A Day in Miami. And like Eddie said, this has been a long time coming. But when everything started, you were in campaign mode and we understand how that works. Yeah. You know, we get it. We get it. So welcome to A Day in Miami.
Thank you for having me. And better late than never.
Absolutely.
And it's just the first of many to come.
I appreciate it.
We love that. We love that.
We've seen your work from afar and very impressed with what you've been doing. I have a lot of cop friends, actually.
Good.
And they're very happy that you obviously won the vote from the people. I was never under the impression that we ever had like a sheriff's department before.
Because she can answer that, right?
That's
No, in my lifetime tampoco.
Oh, okay.
Wait a second.
I thought you told
I'm
me
57, but I was, I think that was in the 60s.
66.
There you go.
So you're safe.
I'm good.
Think.
I was born in 68.
Yes. So, and that is such a reality, right?
Yeah.
This county, really, even the history, not a lot of people are around that were ever, really going to recall that time in our history. Additionally, a sheriff's office today is very different than what it looked like in 1966. So the truth is that it is a brand new sheriff's office that we are standing up.
Do you know why at that point they kind of like off-ramp that? And
I do.
Why? Give me the history about that.
Sure, you're going to love it.
People like that.
It's a Miami-Dade good history
let's see. Here we go.
So in 1966, the then sheriff was arrested for fraud and corruption by the feds. Exactly.
Damn.
And so
goes the Miami thing again.
So in order to protect the local government, what they did was they passed a local ordinance, right, that the then manager of the county would appoint someone to be the head police person, and they chose the title of police director.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, back then, it was a county manager, might have even been something else, but eventually county manager, which is what, when I came on the job, we had a county manager.
100%, yeah.
Right, so that was, I came on the job in 1996. So now think of the evolution of county government. We went from a county manager to a mayor to a strong mayor's position, right? Mm-hmm. All those changed a bit of the dynamics as to how the police department was run. With more stronger local governments, less ability for the police department to run the day-to-day. And in law enforcement, that can be a challenge. And so for me, with 28 years at the time that I was running, now over 29, I will tell you it couldn't have come at a better time. Oh. We really needed to put back the, control of safety squarely in the hands of law enforcement.
What were some of the issues that were not operating or in the best case scenario that now could be fixed? Like, what were some of the things?
Well, we're going to start with bureaucracy.
I was going to say that, a little bit because
sorry. I don't understand how the police force works or who's in charge of anything. I'm just cops out there.
But before the sheriff answers that, I want to specify something. What she said is so true because, the bureaucracy in the sense of we're so big, Miami-Dade County, you're looking at a budget that, could be 5, Central American, countries put together.
Wow.
How could we not have always had, an independent, sheriff's office? I mean, when the days that she's talking about is when I worked in the county. I remember that being the story. We had always a director and a director. But to her point, it was always a problem. Every time there was an issue, between the commissioners, this and that, these poor people, I always say, would fall into, the problems of them having.
Exactly.
Because it was
I'll give you
a tug and pull.
Right. So right now, it was very vocal that I was fighting for my budget, right? So the way it works now is that the county has the bank account, right? For lack of a better word, so that everybody understands. But they have to write me a check based on the budget of my needs. I go to them and I say, I need X amount of money in order to provide the services for 1 year to this county. I literally go year to year. So that's number one. That means I need to have a good relationship to ensure, because we all know that projects don't happen in 1 year.
Yep. No.
Right.
And you got to start working already for the next year.
Correct. But with that said, historically, that budget was managed the entire year by the county. So somewhere along the way, they could have decided that, you know what, we're going to take this money and move it over here because we need it. But that affects safety, and that affects the long-term plans. So for me, I'm very happy because now I have the budget of my needs. Now I get to work with this budget for the next year to ensure that anything can happen in the county.
Correct.
They are not going to come back and say, right.
Back or anything.
Which entail, let's be honest, it's your budget now. So if they have a problem with it, but it's on you now,
It's 100% on me. That's the difference.
It's right.
Yes.
So, with the good, there's also the bad, no?
Of course.
So then you can say, okay, now everybody say, oh, okay, we're going to give her the budget. Let's see what she produces. Okay, give me the opportunity. Mm-hmm. Let me prove myself of what I can do now with what we couldn't do with that.
And the ones I'm proving myself to is this community.
I love it. I think it's great.
Who voted
100%. Well, I was going to get to that.
Yes, and additionally, statutorily, the sheriff at the end of the year, like I have to be under my budget. Like I can't be over budget. I'm actually held personally. I can be fined as a person. Yes, the only elected official that has that happen to them. So I am going to be a good steward.
That's crazy.
I know.
This is,
and for safety,
it's a never-ending story here.
I know, but what an amazing position to be in. Which is, I fought for my budget.
Yes,
but because I believe that I can do what we need to do to keep this county safe, to make it better. Okay. We're growing. Look at us. Wow. This year alone, we've got Orange Bowl championship game, World Baseball Classic, F1,
that's our
World
FIFA.
Cup.
Yeah,
exactly.
You just answered this.
You
just started questioning stuff out here. The fact. I mean,
and I'm going to add G20.
Yeah.
Now,
no,
G20.
that's right.
You're right.
No, that's
amazing.
crazy.
Yes,
but would G20 be? I know we jump all over the place, but it's between the coffee and the ADD. Here's my thing. Now that you said G20, would that be like a coordination? I mean, is that the word? Or a coalition between other police departments?
Okay.
Or does it all fall under Dade County?
So it absolutely is primarily affecting the sheriff's office.
Okay.
Of course, it will touch other jurisdictions, city of Doral, obviously, because that's where it is. But understanding that the safety and security of heads of state coming through our airport, also the sheriff's office.
No, it's all sheriff, yeah.
Exactly.
No.
Of course, it's always going to, touch other agencies as well. But the important part is that having established relationships, right? I didn't start in January.
100%.
Correct.
I started in 1996.
Absolutely.
And I'm able to tap into those relationships to ensure that we hit the ground running. And, our plans start years in advance. As soon as I find out about G20, we started our committee, absolutely, to start working on it.
I want to be in that meeting. I would love to be in that meeting when you guys are coordinating all this stuff.
Get everything ready. Listen, this may sound like a stupid question.
Never.
Okay?
Never.
But what does the sheriff's office encompass? Like, are you over like City of Doral Police, City of Sweetwater Police, City of Coral Gables Police? Like, can you explain to us how it is that you guys operate?
It's a great question, and I get it all the time. And I do believe that when I talked about we are standing up a sheriff's office, it's because we are still educating our community what a sheriff's office is. Okay, so jurisdiction. The sheriff has jurisdiction of law enforcement in the entire county.
Okay.
Everywhere.
Doesn't matter what municipality.
Doesn't matter if you cross into Miami Beach, into City of Miami, Hialeah. Sheriff office has jurisdiction. However, there are, as we know, a total of 34 municipalities that have their own police departments. So they do the day-to-day service for those communities. Mm-hmm. For many of those communities, the sheriff also supports them. So, for example, City of Coral Gables. They don't necessarily need a homicide unit, right?
Got you.
Thank goodness they don't have that need. So if that happens, the sheriff steps in and provides them that service.
Got you.
And we do that for almost every single municipality in the county. Some more services than others, right? But ultimately, we do work cooperatively with them. Obviously, you know, none of us are gonna get this job done alone. Yeah. But the ultimate law enforcement for the county is a sheriff. I also have statutory things that only I can do: civil writs, warrants, court services. That's by statute, by constitution, that I'm the only one that has the authority to do those things.
Got you. So how is like the chain of command then? So if there's like a homicide in, you know, Coral Gables that you were mentioning earlier, the Coral Gables police, nothing to do with them.
So what'll happen is they'll go and they'll respond because they're going to get the 911 call.
Okay.
They're going to go, they're going to hold, and once they've determined this is a homicide case, they will then contact the sheriff's office, and our homicide will come over and assume the investigation.
And if it's beyond that, or then you guys look into what, help from the FBI, or do you guys?
Right. So it just depends the case, right?
Yeah.
Because maybe the case does have ties to federal. But yes, so then at that point, we would be the lead investigative agency, and we would reach out to whatever resources or agencies that we need to get the job.
The reason why I ask is I see all these movies all the time, and then I see like the local officer
movies
upset with the sheriff's office, and I know you're taking the case from me. So does that actually happen? Like, does people want to be the lead on a case?
I mean, there's you know, movies are based on some reality.
Yeah, that's what
okay.
I'm
Sometimes
that when they're arguing, I'm like, who the hell cares?
Right, but I guess to her point, it really depends. Like when you see in all these different places. Okay, take Portland and all these places that you know that things are happening. And then all of a sudden you have the federal government saying, okay, you know what, nothing's happening there. We're taking over. You know, we have the governor, we have somebody saying, listen, we need help. Then that's where, everything gets a little bit haywire.
I think that a real important piece that community should know is that the laws are defined by who can enforce them. So a lot of it is driven by what the offense is.
Gotcha.
So, for example, the feds are going to enforce federal crimes.
Correct.
So when let's say they need a subject and that subject committed a burglary, well, the feds don't have jurisdiction on a burglary. The sheriff's office does.
I got you.
So it does help, right, to have those relationships so that we can work together. We have many task force that we work hand in hand. We have sheriff's deputies that are sworn in on federal task force, and whether it's the Secret Service, the FBI.
It's another question we have.
Yeah, so we work alongside the feds.
Are those databases like between the sheriff's office, local police? Are that all connected finally, or is that? I heard that there's like issues still there.
Yeah, so it really depends on database. And it depends the level of information as well.
Gotcha.
So there are certain things that are held independently at the federal level, but because we work with them, right, we're able to ask. Right, it's not that you're going to have access to it, but you can ask for the cooperation, and we'll work through it.
So, for example, when we have the president of the United States come to South Florida, Secret Service obviously has to get in touch with you guys and coordinate everything on that end. Because as you said, that you're landing in either Miami International Airport, which is, all under the sheriff's, domain. So then from there, it has to be all in conjunction of wherever he's going in that sense.
Absolutely. We work cooperatively with the Secret Service. Every time at Capitol Police. Because let's not forget,
I didn't even know that part.
Secretary of State lives right here in
Yes, of course, yeah.
Yes,
our dear friend.
Yes, absolutely.
Our guy, our secretary. We're proud. Sheriff, so take us back to, again, here's the ADD, but take us back to the day you got elected, okay? The feeling, the fact of being the first female Hispanic, to take over back this position that was in 1960, and now here you are, taking over this as I believe a tremendous position, because I've always been an advocate of people voting for things, and I've always been an advocate in the sense that this position, when it was first done with the county of independent, doing independent and being voted, I think it's perfect, because it gives us, the voters, everybody a right to say, do we feel you're doing a good job? Yeah. And to your part, when you said a little while ago, which I loved, and the fact of asking for your budget, if you now say, hold me accountable, did I do a good job? That's the voters to decide.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that moment, what was that feeling for you?
Oh, wow.
It was a tough race, too.
That was a really
tough race.
It was a tough race to someone who had never run, ever.
Yeah.
For anything.
Right, because you had never ever run for anything.
What made you want to run? I'm curious in that.
Before you won, what's that moment that made you say,
Yeah.
you
Let
know?
me do this.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah. So, okay. I had been on the job, like I said, and obviously my team had worked with Freddie Ramirez for a long time, and I considered myself to be part of his,
Yes.
top lieutenants, top echelon,
Yeah.
and so when the decision was made that he was no longer going to run for sheriff, I kind of stood back and kind of waited to see like who was going to step forward. But as you mentioned, it was a tough race. A lot of people stepped forward.
Yes.
But what I didn't really feel, and this is my personal opinion, that there was a quality and the experience that needed to do this job stepping up.
Of the candidates.
Yes.
Okay.
Of the
Okay.
candidates.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's what was my personal feeling. And so I had a few friends who sat me down and they're like, you have to do this. Like you please. And I had people on the job. I had like professional peers that I respected, people who I would have gone to them and said, you got to run. And they were like, no, you got to run.
Right. Got it. Yeah.
And so I sat down with my family.
Yeah.
I prayed on
big
it.
one.
Yeah. You got to tell everybody, you ready for this?
Yes, exactly.
Are you ready for this?
And so finally I made the decision. I'll tell you, I had a moment with my husband. My husband's a retired deputy with our organization. We met while we were on the job. And so he's now retired. He did 35 years and then retired as a canine officer. And I remember during that time that I'm like really thinking about it and mulling it over. And at one point, he just kind of looked at me. He said, you're not going to let anybody do something bad to our agency, right? Like you're not going to let that happen, because that's what it felt like. It felt personal to us.
Yeah.
When you commit, 35 years of your life, like he had to the agency, and at the time at 20, it was like blood, sweat, and tears that we had given. And so it was very personal. And that was really
A moment.
when I said, you're right. I'm not. We didn't go through all this. If this isn't done right now, Miami-Dade County would be I felt it would be in a really bad place. We only get one chance to stand up this office of the sheriff right. And so I decided to run. And then fast forward.
Let me tell you, that's a Netflix series right
That
there.
is.
With the fact of just feeling that way, because to your point, I mean, that was maybe that little one that you were looking for to just get you, even though everybody sat down with you and the whole thing and you already had it, but it was that moment with your husband that he threw that at you and that made you said, that's it.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I also feel like you guys, officers, see Miami in a way different light than like the public sees it, because we wake up 6 a.m, we go to sleep 8, 10 o'clock at night. You guys are patrolling the streets at night. You see the real dirty stuff of the city, So your perception or vision of what's actually happening and what this can turn into is very real compared to us, just waking up and going along with our day.
Look, people are data driven, right? So if you just look at the numbers of violent crime in Miami-Dade County from, let's say, the 80s and the 90s.
Yes.
Cocaine cowboy days,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Hundreds and hundreds of murders a year.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in double digits.
No way.
2.9 million residents in this county, going up every year. And our violent crime
That's really good.
it is good.
Yeah.
And of course, now one is too
course,
many.
yeah,
Of
but
course. But if you compare it
Right.
to
No,
the
you're
rest
right.
of this
Listen,
country,
it's life.
yeah, exactly. But, we're doing good things.
Yeah.
And again, and that comes from years of pain. It didn't happen overnight.
No.
It does. And I have the opportunity to travel and really interact with other, sheriffs and police chiefs all over this country. And I'll tell you that more often than not, the first thing there's like, the relationships that you guys have with each other is unparalleled. And I mean that like with our other agencies, the other municipalities.
Correct.
Because we do work together, whether it's us here at the state, right? FDLE, the troopers, FHP.
Yes.
Or, right. So it's all these relationships that allows us to
It's a lot of moving
to be
pieces.
successful.
Well, I mean, to Eddie's point, everybody's sleeping, and it's like anything in the world, in our country, you feel safe in the place that you that you are.
I've always wanted to do a ride along.
I'm saying, well,
We can make that
I
happen.
would love to do a ride along and just
We
see
can
what's
make
going
it.
on in the
You
streets.
heard it here, right here.
Yes.
we're gonna do a live ride along.
Yes, man. I've been dying. I have a bunch of cop friends, and I tell them,
I don't know about live.
I gotta
No,
submit
not
pay.
live. I mean, we have to record it. We
We
can't take Justin live.
Work and get me approved and all that stuff, and I was like,
Well, but
You
but
do have to be approved. We
right.
don't.
But on that point with the ride-alongs, some questions that we've gotten from our viewers, which have been concerns, are like, which one of the biggest
one of the
concerns
biggest things,
Yeah.
I mean, which is like a social media thing that everybody sees, the street takeovers.
Yes.
It's just absolute madness.
I know.
I don't understand why kids go to that. They get hit by cars.
Yeah.
I know.
Is there? And I know it's difficult to
No,
stop
no.
because
They have a
I'm not
sign on
su-
forehead that says "bobo."
I'm not
Por no
sure
ser estúpido.
what the law is, if you're allowed to chase people or not. Like, there's some gray area there. If you can tell us what you guys are doing about that.
So I'll tell you that we have been working so hard on street takeovers, and not now. I mean, this is probably now going on about 1.5 to
Yes.
2 years where it's been very proactive. We have worked diligently, working through social media, working through intelligence, right? To be preemptive.
Yeah.
Identifying the key players and taking them down at
Is
that
this
point.
organized? I thought it was like random.
No, it's organized.
Oh, wow.
And additionally, we were able to get some laws into place because we also needed more teeth, right? More to be able to. And so now even observing and being just part of those people is a crime.
Okay,
You're right. But we have seized vehicles. That's the other things that we've done and impounded them because we're hitting them in the pocketbook where it hurts.
When you say organized, I mean, take me out of this doubt. Is it organized because they're making money on this? What is that you do in the sense to organizing? Oh, we're going to do a takeover on Flagler and I don't know, something. What do I get out of it? I don't know. Do I
it's
become
just kids,
popular or something that I organize this takeover?
I'm going to tell you that I
mean,
think there's a little bit of both, right?
Okay.
So we cannot act like people haven't been street racing for years for eternity.
100%.
Right,
Fast and the Furious.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly. So
now it's
this
just
is
a
not-
focal point.
Right. So this has become like the new evolution of what they
Yes.
want to do.
Yes.
Extremely dangerous. Extremely
Yes.
So I'll pose a question to you all. Do you think if these kids had a place to go where they could sign a waiver and it was a drag strip and they could do this, that would be something that would be good?
I think they would. I think for sure. I
I don't.
I thought
I don't know what to tell you. I think that I think it's legal. They don't want to do it. They like they want the challenge.
Yeah.
They want that thing of like, oh, can I get away with this?
But I see a lot of I have some.
I don't know.
I have a cousin who's like a drag racer, but
Right.
he goes to some tracks in Homestead.
Yeah.
And they go in the race.
There are some, and that's I mentioned that because there are some tracks, and I think there's more tracks that are considering expanding into this particular arena. Okay. And you're right. There's always the bad apple.
Yeah, claro.
right?
Yeah,
There's something you
yeah.
can't. But we work really hard to ensure that we keep it as safe as possible. But you're right. We don't have a crystal ball.
No.
We don't. And so when these things happen, what I try to do is I try to make sure that my deputies know that they are to take action, do what they have to do, arrest them, but you have to balance that because if we're chasing, then that's an innocent person who could be harmed, right?
No. Yeah, no. It's a
so
tough.
it's
Yeah.
balancing
It
act.
is.
Absolutely. But within our power that we can do 100%. And in the meantime, I'm working on furthering technology because I
Okay.
think that will
AI?
be a key. Well, AI's in there, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But anything that we can do technology-wise
Yeah.
to help make it safer, to stop these bad actors, we will.
I saw that you guys had an operation. Let me see here. I wrote it down. I was looking at your social media. It was Operation Safe Summer.
Yes.
Tell me a little about Operation Safe Summer. What did that encompass? Because looking into it, it seems like you guys take off a lot of guns, drugs, and money off the streets. And I saw it happening in places like in the hammocks, like in Kendall, which I would never have thought about.
No, that's your hood.
That's my hood, yeah. And then I see these pictures of, AK-47s and stuff being like, okay, what's going on in my neighborhood?
So Operation Safe Summer, we did a proactive, detailed, intelligence-based, right? We really do target with knowledge and intent, right? So it's not just like, whatever sticks.
Right.
But with that said, we're able to kind of follow up on those investigations. And so if they happen to be in hammocks, then they happen to be in hammocks or wherever they may be. The truth is that for us, it's the ability to focus on going after the violent crime, the guns, the narcotics. At the same time, we also did part of that entire program was presence, right? Being involved with community, being in the parks with the kids, right? All the positive stuff as well. So it wasn't just a one-sided program.
Got you.
Right? So, you saw the numbers, amazing. The drugs that we got off the street, the guns that we got off the streets were incredible.
Do you see like any particular areas in the county that are like hot spots more than others, or?
So I'll tell you that there's always places that will pick up and go down depending on crime trends, believe it or not, on the time of year.
That's what. With all the events coming into Miami,
yeah.
I mean,
holiday season.
Yep.
It picks up in the malls. We're gonna get more activities, whether it's a car burglary or a theft, or those things will peak in places where the people are, right, where they're spending their money. So we do follow trends.
Sheriff, I wanted to also ask you now, because I was thinking now when you said a little bit now about that with in the different forces. How are we doing right now are we good with enough Miami-Dade police, or in this case now sheriff's office? Do we have enough police officers? Are we looking for more? Do we need more? Is there opportunities?
So, yes, we need more.
Do we need more?
Yeah. So this is so the national average. It's a report put out by the FBI, says that per 1,000 residents there should be about 3.5 officers or deputies, right? 3.5, and it's an average. It's like,
per 1,000?
Per 1,000 residents. That's the average.
So we have 3 million.
Yeah. Well,
I would think a little bit more, but
but remember that I'm just going to talk about unincorporated Dade. That
Okay,
is
got
mine.
you.
Yeah, because I'm not going to.
We need an update on that
right?
FBI
We
thing,
have
right?
the cities.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Concho.
So you want more, right?
I'm all about more. I'm all about more.
Well, we've got 2.5.
Okay.
So we need a little bit more.
We need more.
No. If you do the math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that said, I will tell you, though, that's a strategic plan. The truth is that I have to plan to be able to increase my numbers. We're a very large organization. We're the largest in the southeastern United States, right? 3,200 sworn deputies. With my civilian staff, just about 5,000 employees. So I have to plan in order to increase the numbers. Our deputies, from the day that you hire them to the day that they're pretty much on their own solo, and that's, if everything goes well, it's about 1.5 years.
Wow.
That's a long time to train. So, and I can work with my budget to ensure that it's paced, but I made it very clear that this is my vision for the future, and we'll get there. In the meantime, what I need to do is always ensure that my assets are properly assigned, that we're using our current assets to the best of our ability to do the service that we need.
Right. What do you have? With what you have to
Correct.
I don't want to say the word pick and choose.
No, you have to prioritize.
You have to prioritize. That's the word.
You have to prioritize.
Yeah, you have to prioritize. That's the important part.
What would you consider being like the biggest threat right now in the community? Because we spoke to the state attorney and she said that human trafficking, which I had no idea was a really big issue, especially when
all the big events come, like the F1s, the Super Bowl, and everything else is
that is a very true statement. I mean, it is a concern, and we work very proactively for all of these events alongside both the state attorney and our federal partners. We're also our human trafficking federal task force. We need to educate our people more. I think the community needs to know how bad human trafficking can be, so that they can see the signs. So that's a big piece for us too, is educating the community about human trafficking. Just like you didn't know, a lot of people don't know.
It's still a lot of subject that people don't know about. I mean, one as parents, we have kids and daughters.
Super scary.
I'm constantly, and I don't see that much. To your point,
I know.
I don't see it that much of people educating in that.
So we I know that's gonna sound. So one of our very strong campaigns is also isn't some of the private spaces in airports and bus terminals, places where victims of human trafficking might actually, be exposed to and know, look, here's a place where you can get help, that we can get you help. Follow up is key too. So, for example, someone is identified as a victim of human trafficking. Well, it's a cycle.
Yeah.
If we don't break the cycle, they will just end up right back in that system. So providing them education, resources, support, whatever it is that they need to get them so that, because if you know nothing else except that life.
Correct.
Right. If you don't have somebody to help you get out of it, then,
Correct. Correct. I keep on thinking the sense that we talked about this, that we wanted to do like a program of a day in Miami with the fact of people learn, educate about the human trafficking situation.
That sounds like a wonderful topic.
You know, we would love to have you on that, because I think it will be, that'll blow up with our viewership. Everybody's going to want to see that, because everybody's going to want to be a part of that. I think
understanding, and this is another key piece. I'm sorry, just want
No, go ahead.
Human trapficking. I know most people think of only the sexual transactions,
little girls
right?
and stuff.
Yes, but this is also about labor, like people who are forced to work.
You think that happens here?
It happens all over this country.
No way.
It does. So, and I say that because it's a key piece, right? Again, knowledge, right? There's so many facets to human trafficking.
Yeah.
I think it would be a great topic.
Because it's just not one thing. It's everything that's considered under the umbrella of human trafficking.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? That people think it's just a fact of, like, people imagine the movie Taken. You know what I'm saying? But it's not only that. It's a sense of, to your point, a lot of these people, mainly girls, don't know anything better.
Exactly.
And
nothing else.
Because the point that we had with our state attorney was that she said they take everything away from them.
Yes.
So they have nothing. So all they know is they depend on this person for a daily basis, everything. And that's that person has to do stuff that they say.
So our sheriff is very busy, so we have 2 questions left.
Yes,
One
go ahead.
for me.
Okay.
If you want, go for yours.
No, you go with yours.
I have a lot here, but I know we're going to have to come back.
No, we'll do.
It's all good.
We'll do another.
Yeah.
We'll do another.
So
We'll do another.
I'll just ask my final question if you want to think of one for you there.
Well, your final question really is always the end of the question.
So go for it.
Okay.
Because after that, she can't do anything else.
DUI checkpoints to discuss. Is that really part of the sheriff's office or no?
Yeah, we do. Absolutely.
Because I see that on social media and I think it's good.
I have absolutely expanded our traffic enforcement, including DUI.
Listen.
Absolutely. And targeted in some of our high areas where we're seeing so many crashes because of bad driving.
Yes.
So we've been very proactive, working alongside FHP as well, just for some of these details. So you'll see.
I saw
math.
Chief Edwin was promoting it in the rally the other day.
Absolutely.
Well, the good thing about this is that we dipped our toes in a little bit of the stuff, but this will make you come back to us, because I know we're going to get a lot of follow-up questions with our viewers. And like I told you earlier, I think this is important. I think one of the best things, and this is why we even started this podcast, was to always a spotlight on things that are going on in Miami. Good things. You have other pages and other stuff, putting all the things that come out. We want people to come on this podcast and explain things to us. And I know that a lot of our viewers are always going to be very appreciative to us to get information from you, from our sheriff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because people say, I don't have access to her. Right. So at least if we get, they feel somewhere close in the sense of asking the questions and us being that voice to ask you.
Our final question.
Yes.
Presented by Toast, the #1 PO system in South Florida. Sheriff,
here we go.
Your top 3 restaurants. Starting with number 3.
Number 3.
Oh, okay. Miami Lakes, El Novillo.
Ooh.
Okay.
Love it.
Well, but they're also on Bird Road, Sheriff.
They are. They have, and they're in the falls too. I think, aren't they?
No, that's a different one.
That's a different one.
Yeah, we won't say it, but
mention
just in
What do you
case.
like about Novillo?
The steak.
The steak. Yeah. That's it.
No, y la salsita. Que
Oh, my God, it's chimichurri.
Yeah.
Do they know that you go there? Do they see you?
Well, they might,
Now they're going to. Now they're going
They might
to.
put 2 and 2 together now.
Yes.
Because normally I'm going there, I'm not in uniform.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Number
I
2.
know.
So number 2 is a little coffee shop in Doral, Crema.
Crema.
Ooh,
Very good.
nice franchise.
Very good.
Very good
Yeah,
people.
we have one
Great
here in the
coffee
Gables.
shop.
Very, very
Exactly.
good people.
Great sandwiches too,
Yeah,
by the way.
absolutely.
A good
Shout out to
place for
Crema.
lunch. A little morning breakfast or a little lunch.
Like a brunch.
Okay.
place.
And you gotta hit us with your number 1, okay? This is an important one. We know you're Dominican. What do you got for number 1?
Is it true to the roots?
It is. El típico.
Yes,
típico.
típico dominicano.
But can we say this? Pero mira, es típico.
Listen, that
He
place.
sounds more Dominican than
Oh,
I
that's
do.
trust me. You don't know. I could be all day Dominican. I
Tingo
love it.
Dominicano, that is a classic. They
Pero los
have
tres
great
golpes,
parties.
tres golpes,
Oh.
cari tres golpes.
If you really want to party and
Listen,
have fun, you hang out with
It's
Dominicans.
not before you leave. It's not because of anything, but it is our second favorite place to always be is Santo Domingo. I love Dominican people. I love it. I love it. It's the best. It's the best. Sheriff, I know you have to go. There's emergencies going
more
around
important
town.
things than coming
We'll
on
be
here.
here in the podcast, so I know it was a big effort you be here, but I do want to invite you to come back and continue, answering more questions and giving us. We would love to get new feedback and new reports of all this stuff that
Sounds
you're
great.
doing
Sounds great.
with your new budget and all the things that you're going to kick butt over there. We want to hear about it.
Thank you.
Okay.
It'll be
Thank
my
you,
honor.
Sheriff.
For the work you're
Appreciate it.
doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so
very
much.